Ktlk, AM 1150. Southern California Live with Wendell. Joining us, our favorite nose-to-the-grindstone Hollywood insider, Mark Ebner. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Happy belated birthday to you there, Daddy-O.
Thanks, Ebs. Question. What are you working on now?
Well, let's see. I got a book out right now. We Have Your Husband, about a kidnapping down in Mexico. It's out from Berkeley Books, and it's being made into a movie by the Lifetime Movie Network.
Very good.
Yes.
Explain this, that you co-wrote this book, actually.
This book with the wife of a guy. He was kind of like the heir to the Citizen Kane of Mexico. They snatched him off his ranch up above San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, put him in a box for 7.5 months, shot him twice, practically starved him to death. And it's a story about how his wife, while battling stage 4 breast cancer, was able to get her husband back, and it's quite a compelling story.
Let's hear the name of the book again.
We Have Your Husband, Berkeley Books, Penguin.
The reason that we are having you on at this moment is that is not the only thing that is happening in your life. You have, for I am gathering, about 25 years, been at war with one of the most powerful institutions in Southern California. Would you care to elucidate?
Okay, you mean the evil, criminal, totalitarian mind control cult of Scientology. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, in 1996, I wrote Do You Want to Buy a Bridge, which was the first expose on Scientology from the inside out, being that I joined to write the expose.
Right.
You know, I just walked into the testing center on Hollywood Boulevard and came out through the other side and realized that the way out, as Hubbard would say, the founder of Scientology, is through the effing door. You know, it's as simple as that, but people get sucked into it, and, you know, it's a dangerous cult. And they've, you know, tried to sue me, you know, with the legal threats, the harassment, invasion of privacy, doing everything to trample on my First Amendment rights as a journalist to tell the truth about them, and they've been doing this for years, and it sort of came to a head.
What's the most recent development in this long-running conflict?
Well, there's been a couple of them. One was that a guy who was basically the number 2 guy behind Tom Cruise's butt boy, David Miscavige, a guy named Marty Rathbun, high-level executive in the cult. He blew. He left the cult, and he's been systematically releasing documents. Well, one of them he released to me was the intel files that their PIs had on me.
Really?
And it showed that it didn't really say too much. I mean, I opened my Spy magazine story saying I owe the IRS $6,000. I've masturbated and inhaled at the same time. And
would you like to explain why people crack up over that thing? When people, what is that joke in reference to?
Well,
and also remember, the FCC is not our friend, so be careful here.
No, it's very simply this, is what Scientology does when they sense criticism is they go out and dig up dirt on, you know, the quote-unquote suppressive person.
Right.
You know, and what they, you know, so what I did was I'm an open book. Here's my dirt, now take your best shot.
All right.
So in other words, I kind of suck the power out of them, know, from the get-go. And every time they take a shot at me, I come back with 10 more stories, and there's plenty of outlets. In fact, I've made a cottage industry out of writing about Scientology. But they went ahead and they were going through my trash and, you know, looking up who my girlfriends were at the time.
Well, you're like Bob Dylan or something.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it was kind of it's creepy, but you know, to most people. But to me, you know, when I see the PI in an unmarked car pull up outside my house, I go up to his window and laugh at him and tell him to get the hell out of here. Other people, you know, they're not of the same metal.
No, that's right. I've had friends who they've sent them right out of town. They've ended up in Santa Cruz. They've ended up in Portland, Oregon. They just want to get away.
Oh, yeah. And now they have me on their enemy list, along with the esteemed screenwriter Paul Haggis. You may know him from
I do.
The movie Crash. And, you know, and Jason Begay, the fine character actor who recently left the cult. Look, bottom line is, sooner or later, it may take 30 years, but when they get to all the space, the space alien stuff, the upper levels, you know, these people just kind of like have freakouts and end up leaving. And then they turn against the cult in a big big way. The big problem here in Los Angeles right now, and they just purchased the KCET building on Sunset Boulevard, one of our bastions of, public television.
That is correct, they did.
Is they're making land grabs. So if I'm going to tip my hat to the cult in any way, it's going to be that they're rich in terms of real estate, but they're very, very poor in terms of dwindling membership.
Really? Okay, then that's my last question, Mark, and then we got to go. We've got like a minute left. How many Scientologists are there in the world?
Active Scientologists in the world, I would say, being liberal, maybe 30,000.
What?
Yes. How many do they claim? Millions. Because they count anyone that's ever walked through the door to take a test, buy a book, and everything else. That's how they inflate their numbers. But actual, dues-paying Scientologists, maybe 30-plus thousand, and that's it. And that's counting those people that you see running around in sailor suits around Hollywood, who have signed billion-year contracts to indenture themselves like slaves to this nasty cult. Yeah.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Treasure.
Mark Ebner, a fearless, intrepid reporter. Good to have him on. Good to have Tim and Johnny and Jim Miller. Buy Mark's book, buy Jim's book, and I'll talk to you next week. See you later. Wendell, Southern California Live. Hasta la vista.